All right, guys, we got another weekend of pickups. This weekend was a little bit slower. It was kind of rainy all up until about 7 in the morning on Saturday. So there weren't a ton of people doing garage sales, but I scoped it out on stream on Friday, a handful of garage sales that had some video game stuff listed. Not nearly as many as the previous week. Though, like last week, I think we had like 20 or so listings that probably had stuff for video games, and this week it was like 3 or 4. So it was kind of disappointing. There was one, however, that I found early Saturday morning on Kijiji, and it had a listing for Sega Genesis games, Nintendo games, as well as PS4 games. So I figured, oh man, I need to get to this sale. And it was all the way on the other side of the city, about a 30-minute drive to get there. And I went there first thing in the morning. They said that they were starting around 9 o'clock. I was there about 8:30 waiting, just waiting and waiting for them to open their garage. The garage opens, I'm there. Boom. I walk up and I look at the table. PS4 games. And I said, "Do you have any other games? Like Nintendo, Genesis?" I saw your ad on Kijiji, and the guy says, "Yeah, we did, but I sold them yesterday." Heart is broken and I'm very, very mad. So I end up getting out of there. The dude's like apologizing, and I think he felt really bad that I drove there first thing in the morning and he didn't have the stuff that it said on the listing. He said, "I'm sorry I didn't update it." And yeah, I was very upset, but there's not really much you can do, honestly. Some people will just end up poaching stuff early, which I might start trying to do because a lot of people seem to be doing it. It's happened to me multiple times that this sort of thing's happened. So it was a really rough start to the day, and I was pretty upset. But luckily, not too far away, about another 5-10 minute drive or so, there was supposed to be a multi-family sale going on. Both of them had video games. So I went and I drove over that way, and they weren't quite set up yet. I saw that there was some like activity going around, but I didn't see any tables or anything set up. So I kind of like looped the block. Again, nothing set up yet. Decided to go to McDonald's, grab myself a drink, and then come back because these were the only video game sales that I had on my list. So I figured, whatever. Let's just kill a little bit of time, give them some time to set up, and we'll go back and check it out. So went back, looped around, and one of the tables had some stuff set up. No video games yet. And the girl that was there somehow read my mind and knew video games. And she said to her boyfriend, or the guy she was with, said, "Oh, can you go bring out the video games?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for." Somehow she just knew that I was there for that. And so I wait a couple minutes. The guy comes out. He's holding about here. And he's got a stack of stuff up to about this high. And I was like, yes, we got games. He pulls the stuff out, and he has a Wii on the bottom as kind of his tray. He's carrying everything on a Wii. The Wii was pretty busted up. I was like, I don't really feel like grabbing this right now. So I'm going to pass on the Wii, and I was just going to look through all the games. So I browsed through all the games, and honestly, it was mostly all filler titles and stuff I really didn't care for, or some things I didn't have that weren't really worth picking up to flip. But there was 2 games in there. They're in pretty rough shape, but they said they'd give me a pretty good price on them. And the games that we ended up picking up were Dragon Ball Z Sagas, and it's got some like marker and stuff on the case. The disc itself also has some marker on it, but I'm going to see if I can try and get it out. Again, it's not in the best condition. Hopefully the game plays. And the other one that we ended up picking up at that sale was Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. Both of these on the GameCube. This case is really messed up. It's like burnt or something. I don't know. But again, cases can be swapped. Hopefully the games are good enough. But I was pretty bummed from the first sale of the day that I was just like desperate to pick something up. So I grabbed both of these guys. They're both valuable games. I ended up picking up the 2 of them for $5 total, which isn't too bad. It's kind of a gamble at $5 if these ones work or not, but I'm willing to throw $5 at them. Not a big deal. So that was one of the multi-families that was kind of getting set up, and they had another one that was literally right beside them that was getting set up too. And they actually had a bunch of stuff set up in their yard, which was like behind a gate and stuff. So I didn't really see it. So there weren't really many people that had checked it out yet. And I went in there, and they had a ton of video games, like a ton of PS2 stuff. Mostly, they probably had like 50, 60 games for sale. Most of the stuff, things that I already had. Stuff that I wasn't really super interested in. But yeah, they had PS2 stuff and PSP stuff as well. PSP is a little bit harder to come by. from what I've experienced so far. So I wanted to get some PSP stuff, and then any PS2 games that stood out to me. So I spent probably a good 5-10 minutes just kind of cycling through stuff, picking it up, looking at it, seeing if it was something I was interested in. A few of the games that I ended up picking out were Spyro, Enter the Dragonfly, and another one that was on PS2 was Sonic Mega Collection Plus. I checked my app, my CLZ Game Collector app, to see if I had these ones. I did have Spyro already on the PS or on the GameCube, but I figured maybe the one on PS2 might be a little bit of an upgrade. I'm not sure if graphics or frame rate or anything are maybe improved on that. So I figured that's one that I'm probably going to pick up, and I do have it here. It's in very, very nice condition. The case is super clean, and the game and manual are all very, very clean. So I figured I'd grab that one. And the Sonic game, I ended up asking this guy kind of like how much he wanted for some of this stuff, and I think he had prices on them for PS2 games were $3, PS3 games were $5, stuff like that. I ended up putting together a bundle, including this one and the Sonic game, and then these other few that I have picked up over here. Let me show you these ones that I got. So another one that I picked up that I didn't have yet was Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City on the PS3. So he's asking $5 on this one. Spyro was asking $3. And then on the PSP, I also picked up Ratchet and Clank Size Matters, which I didn't have yet, as well as Grand Theft Auto Liberty City Stories on the PSP. This one, the cover on the outside is a little bit kind of water damaged, but hopefully I'll find another upgrade at some point, and I should be able to sell this with a PSP at some point. But those are the games I ended up picking out, plus the Sonic game. And I was asking how much he wanted for all of those, and he said he wanted, I think, 15 or so. And he seemed really attached to this Sonic game. He was like, yeah, that's a really, really good game. And I was asking, okay, can you do maybe like $12 or something on all of them? Because we're bundling it all together. He was trying to stick pretty close to kind of what he was asking on the sticker prices instead of like a bundle type deal. So I spent a little bit of time kind of going back and forth with him. So I was like, okay, what if I leave this Sonic game? Because that was the one that he kept kind of coming back to. So I put that one back down because I already had it on the GameCube. Not the Plus version. I think it was a Plus version, so maybe it had some extra games and stuff, but I'm not super, super worried about it. So I put that one down, and I said, okay, what do you want to do for all of these games? These 4 that I picked up here. And he said $12. And then, so that was what I wanted for all of those games together. And then we ended up settling on 10. So $10 for these 4 games. It's a pretty good deal. I was happy with that one. Happier than the first pickup for sure. So that was literally all the garage sales I found. There was nothing happening for garage sales this weekend. It was pretty bum weekend. But what I ended up doing is, instead of going to some pawn shops and stuff, because I went to pawn shops last week, I figured I'm gonna give them another week to kind of restock and sort things out. So what I did is I ended up looking at Kijiji really quick, and this is where the week turns really good, because I found an ad on Kijiji. I'm gonna see if I can get some screenshots of some of this stuff as well, and show them in the video here. And the first ad that I ended up finding was for some Wii games that I didn't have that I wanted to get back in the collection. I did have these at some point, but I ended up selling them. So the ones that stood out to me were Mad World, as well as what's this other game? This other game here, No More Heroes. So I knew No More Heroes 3 just came out recently, and I wanted to start picking these games up because I've never played them before. And they look pretty stylish and pretty fun. So I ended up messaging this guy, and I said, okay, I'm interested in actually all these games that you have right now. So he had a listing that had No More Heroes, Punch-Out, as well as New Super Mario Bros. Wii and Mad World. So I messaged the guy, and I'm going to see if I can get some of these messages up on screen as well. If not, I'll just explain everything that we kind of talked about. So I messaged him about that stuff, and he ended up saying, oh, I've also got some of these other ads and things kind of going on. I wasn't really super interested in some of the stuff. It's like a Wii Fit balance board. I mean, not my thing. I already have one. I don't need another. But so he ended up saying, okay, I actually don't have Mad World anymore. Someone's coming to pick it up already. So I was like, oh, dang. I really wanted Mad World. I really wanted that game. So I ended up persuading this guy, I think quite a bit, with some of these pickups that we're gonna get into here. I'm really excited about this pickup. So I ended up saying, okay, he wanted $5 a piece on each of these games, so I was gonna end up picking up No More Heroes, Punch Out, New Super Mario Bros. Wii for $5 a piece. And then I asked the guy, okay, do you have any other games for sale? And he mentioned these other listings, which he had some 360 stuff and some PS3 stuff. I looked through, and there was one PS3 game that I didn't have that I hadn't seen before, which was this Gundam game. Let me actually show you these pickups as we're kind of going through here. So there's New Super Mario Bros. Wii. We ended up picking that one up, as well as the Punch Out and No More Heroes. All these games are very, very clean, super well taken care of. They were probably bought new, and they just stayed in great condition the whole time. And then he ended up mentioning these other sales that he had on, which were, for this one called Mobile Suit Gundam Crossfire, which I have a couple Gundam games for the PS3, but I'd never seen this one before. So I ended up adding that to it, and he said once he added that one in, I guess we were going to do like $20 for that game, the 4-game bundle. And then I asked him, now this is something everyone should always do, is ask, if someone's got a listing for a bunch of different video game stuff, ask, do you have anything that's not listed? Are there any games not on Kijiji right now, or not on Facebook, or not wherever you're shopping? And he said, I have some N64 games. And I was very excited when he said that, because he listed off some of these N64 games, and there's some really, really good ones here. The games he listed were Shadow Man, Hybrid Heaven, which apparently this game, I've never heard of this one before. This is one I was like, I have no idea what that is. Apparently this is supposed to be like the N64's Final Fantasy, but it was like a big letdown. It was supposed to make like Sony people really like jealous of this game. It was like a Nintendo 64 exclusive, and apparently it was pretty bad, but I'm super stoked to actually try that out. And then there was also Mario Party. Awesome game. And the one that I'm most excited about in this pickup is Conker's Bad Fur Day. I played this game one time when I was younger, and I remember it's freaking hilarious. This game is super valuable to pick up for the 64, and we ended up getting it for a really, really good price. Now, he listed out individual prices for every single one of these games, and I said, yeah, I want them all. I want all those games, because I didn't have any of them. I didn't have any of those 64 games, so I said, I want them all. And then he messaged me again, saying, I also got some NES games. And I figured, oh my god, this guy has so many games that he didn't even like try selling to anybody else. And I'm so stoked that I asked him, because if I hadn't, I would have left there with 4 games, but I'm leaving with quite a few more than that. And the games that he messaged me about, there was only a few in there that I thought were worth picking up. One of them was Zoda's Revenge, Star Tropics 2 Zoda's Revenge. I have Star Tropics 1, and I remember that game was a lot of fun, so I'm super stoked to pick up the second one. As well as a classic that I didn't have yet, which is Castlevania on the NES. And those were all the games that he messaged me about. And we worked out a deal, $120 for everything. And that's actually a pretty darn good price. He's getting a good chunk of change, and I'm getting some really, really good games. Conker's alone is getting up there in price, honestly. So a lot of the games he's kind of end up bundling in for free, essentially. I ended up showing up at the guy's house, and I looked through all the games, and we kind of like chatted about gaming and stuff like that, and how he's just trying to offload some stuff because he wanted to make some more space and things. And he ended up bringing out another stack of games for me to look at. It's crazy. So he's got so much stuff. And he had some like original Xbox games, some stuff I wasn't really interested in too much, or stuff I had already. There's like Prince of Persia and some other kind of common Xbox games. And there was one in there that I didn't have yet, which is this one called Alter Echo. I've seen it before, but I didn't own it yet. And it's not in the best condition, but I held on to it. And as I was looking through the games, the new Super Mario Bros. Wii that he had handed me was fairly scratched up. So I was like, I think I'm going to pass on this one. And he was like, oh, wait, I think I have another one. And he went up and he found another copy of it. The first one that I had was the paper-sleeved copy. And then he came back with one that actually had like the proper plastic case, which was in much better condition and in the actual case, which was super, super nice. That's one that I will end up trying to flip, because I actually have both copies, one in the plastic and one in the paper. So I'll end up flipping that one. But I wanted this Alter Echo game, and initially what I was thinking is when I saw the game was super scratched is, I'll just swap in Alter Echo and get rid of New Super Mario Bros. And we're good. But I only had the 120 on me, and I said, hey man, any chance you could throw in this Alter Echo? And he did it. He was kind of reluctant at first, but he's like, yeah, it's fine. So I was super, super stoked on that. But yeah, we got a ton of really awesome games here. Super stoked to add these to the collection. Let's get them on the wall right now. And take a look at how we did this week. I think we actually did pretty decent. We ended up spending a little bit more, but I was actually positive this week in my like general game collection. So we actually had a little bit of extra cash flow to try and pick up some nice higher quality stuff. And yeah, I felt really, really good about adding these games to the collection. Once again, we're going to see if we can add a vote in. A lot of these games are for the 64 or the NES, which I don't currently have a way to stream currently. So the games that we're going to vote on are mostly going to be on the Wii or the GameCube, if we can get those games working. I'll have to test them out and see how they're doing. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out this week, checking out the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. A lot of really, really great pickups here, and I will hope to catch you in the next video and on the live stream, twitch.tv/AnnihilateThis. We're the last tease of 7, and I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.